Hey everyone, and welcome. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here for this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a truly fascinating source that is going to challenge some of our oldest, most deeply held assumptions about human existence. We're talking life, death, and the big one, what exactly happens next? We're going to be looking at a massive paradigm shift regarding reincarnation, drawing on a comprehensive lecture that totally redefines our place in the universe. If you've ever found yourself wondering why we're here or where we're going, the concepts we're about to explore are going to give you a completely new lens to view your life through. So let's just jump right in. Okay, let's dive into this, because this is exactly where the source completely shatters a really deeply ingrained fear-based myth. For literally centuries, across all sorts of cultures and historical texts, there's been this looming, kind of terrifying idea that human beings could regress. You know the one, that if you don't live a good life, you might end up reincarnating as a cow, a dog, a fish, or even a blade of grass. But the source material asks us to just hit pause for a second and critically examine where this idea actually came from. Were ancient texts really describing a literal cosmic law, or was it something much, much more practical? The source provides a pretty humorous but honestly incredibly clarifying historical anecdote here. Think about it. Long ago, when society was a lot less educated and people relied heavily on intense physical labor, parents needed a way to teach their kids the value of hard work, right? So if a kid was being lazy, a parent might warn them, hey, if you misbehave, you'll be born as a cow in your next life and you'll have to sweat and pull the plow. It was essentially just an ancient parenting tactic. It was a metaphor, brilliantly designed to instill discipline in a pre-literate society. It wasn't literal at all. Section 1. The myth of animal reincarnation, and how that myth was debunked. The source explains that over centuries, as these parenting metaphors migrated across continents, like from the Chinese mainland all the way over to the West, the original context was totally lost. It got distorted by early spiritual sects who were honestly just limited by the knowledge of their time. So the crucial point is, humans absolutely do not reincarnate as animals. The source argues firmly that human beings only ever reincarnate as human beings. We possess a unique dignity and an energetic makeup that simply cannot, literally cannot, fit into the physical vessel of an animal or a plant. The whole idea that you could come back as a goldfish is just a huge misunderstanding of historical context. Moving right along to Section 2, Human Energy and the 6006 Acupoints. To really understand why a human soul cannot inhabit an animal body, we have to look at our biology and the highly specific spiritual mechanics of the human vessel. 6006. Now, this isn't just some random number pulled out of thin air. According to the source, this is the precise number of energy gateways, or acupoints, that exist on the human body. This incredibly specific architectural design is exactly what makes us entirely distinct from any animal. An animal simply doesn't have the hardware. They don't have these exact 6006 entry points to process human energy. It's like trying to run advanced software on a toaster. It just doesn't work. And this brilliantly illustrates the mechanical process of our existence. It's a three-step process. Step 1, the universe's energy enters through those 6006 specific gateways in the physical human body. Step 2, this energy perfectly combines with our biological form at the exact right microsecond. And then Step 3, this beautiful synthesis produces what the source calls mind energy. It's this resulting mind energy that actually allows us to have consciousness, differentiating us entirely 100% from the animal kingdom. So how does the source actually define human existence? Well, humans occupy a highly unique state. We aren't just mere animals, but we aren't ultimate divine beings either. We exist right in the middle, defined by this incredible mind energy. And here is why this is so absolutely crucial. Over the course of, say, an approximately 100-year lifespan, every single experience, every effort, every action you take is recorded as a frequency within this mind energy. When we pass away, our 6006 energy points detach, and this massive, complex record returns to the universe. The source emphasizes that human energy is so vital, so unbelievably precious, that the universe itself literally requires it to operate. We are, quite literally, as dignified as the heavens. Which brings us to Section 3, the true purpose, the evolutionary purpose of it all. So, if we aren't coming back to be punished as a cow, why do we return at all? The source outlines this incredibly beautiful, highly logical evolutionary loop. Step 1, we live our lives and we strive to create things, right? Step 2, when we pass on, the societal advancements and the knowledge we built act as a sort of fertilizer. Step 3, because of our past efforts, society itself naturally evolves and advances. And finally, step 4, we eventually reincarnate right back into that newly upgraded society. So you see, we are constantly building the very future we're going to return to. Reincarnation isn't some miserable treadmill of punishment. It is a powerful engine of continuous societal and energetic evolution. Section 4, the Jungbub era, and the concept of the final life. Now, here is where this explainer reaches its absolute climax. The source introduces a massive paradigm shift, stating that from the year 2013 onward, we actually entered what is called the Jungbub era, which translates to an era of right law and right truth. And in this new era, the fundamental rules of reincarnation are changing entirely. The core concept here is the final life. For many of us living today, the source suggests that this is it. This is literally the last time you will ever receive a physical body. Once this current lifetime is over, your reincarnation loop definitively ends, and you will not return to this earth in a physical form. Basically, you have evolved as much as you physically can. How wild is that? Section 5. Living an altruistic life, moving beyond religion. So if this is truly your final opportunity in a physical body, how on earth are you supposed to live it? The source maintains a really neutral, objective stance on history here. It notes that in the ignorant past, humanity was weak and we lacked knowledge. It makes total sense that back then it was perfectly acceptable to blindly beg deities for help out of fear, and we definitely need to respect religion's historical role in keeping society together. However, we are now in the empowered present, and humanity has grown up. We have immense knowledge and power now. Because of this, the era of relying solely on dogmatic religion and simply begging for salvation is officially over. We must shift gears toward taking self-reliant action to actively benefit humanity. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how clear the new rules of salvation for the Jungbub era are. Merely believing in a deity or attending a religious institution doesn't dictate whether you go to heaven or hell anymore. Those outcomes are determined entirely by your actions. The ultimate goal now is simply to live a life that benefits others. If you dedicate your life to widely benefiting humanity, you're going to achieve ultimate peace, regardless of whether you've ever even bowed to a god. Furthermore, righteous, altruistic living naturally attracts the universe's support. It just comes to you. You don't even have to ask for it. But we do need to point out that the source also issues a very firm warning about the mechanics of this new era. Lazily begging the divine for help without putting in the actual personal effort to live righteously, that's no longer going to yield results. In fact, the source warns that the universe now strictly demands accountability. Expecting the heavens to just magically fix your life while you remain inactive will actually result in precise consequences or punishment rather than salvation. It is a massive call for ultimate personal responsibility. Well, we've covered some incredible ground today, from completely debunking the ancient myth of animal reincarnation to understanding the exact 6006 gateways of our human energy, all the way to realizing that we might actually be living our final physical iteration right now. The source tells us that in this final life, we must completely burn up our karma by dedicating all our energy to benefiting others, leaving absolutely nothing behind. So I'm going to leave you with this final, provocative thought. If this is indeed your final turn on Earth, how will you burn brightly in your final life? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep questioning, keep learning, and I'll see you next time.